So, what I love about photography, people always say some things I consider untrue. They say I tell stories with photography. That's what other people say. I don't think you do tell stories with photography. Photography has a beginning, stories. As a former English teacher, I will tell you that stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and there is tension and a conflict, and there's a resolution. And so, no, you're not telling stories with photography, meaning in one photo. Now, can you have elements of storytelling in photography? I think you can, and I think that makes good photos because we love stories. We probably love stories more than we love photos, so I would say prioritize the storytelling elements in your photography, and you're on a good start to making good photos. So I do love that about photography, is that when you incorporate storytelling elements, like up here I have a girl on a bike waiting at a light. She's going somewhere, it's late afternoon. Is she going home from work? Is she going to work? Is she going to a study session? Like all those things. My bad, it's a guy. Portland, long hair. My apologies. So rude. Just gotta get myself in check. So I do like that we as humans love stories, and stories root us in this world. We need them to make sense of our lives. I think religion is largely a way to make meaning out of the world through stories, mythical stories. And so photography allows us to have that. But there's more to it than that. Photography also allows us to see each other. Literally, it's taking a moment to practice. Like, we're built as visual creatures. We process information visually. We process visual information. And so it allows us to see someone else, like to literally snap a shutter, capture a frame, allows us to see someone else. And like portraits, weddings, events, all of that is honoring of the human spirit. The human struggle, the bad, the good, the low, the high. So that's another thing that I love about photography, because life is struggle, and life is pain, and learning is pain, and change is pain, and those stories that have the most pain have the most hope for redemption. So I'm going to talk about this in another video, but don't make a boring photo. Don't make a safe photo. These are the things that are uninteresting, and they don't teach us anything. So I'm going to try to capture that in a second. Give me a minute here. Alright, so this is Grace Memorial Episcopal Church, and the Christian flag and the pride flag up there drew my attention because of the contrast, the conflict, and I guess the ephemerality of a flag flapping in the breeze. And it's something about identity, and ironically, flags are for pride, but the church has had a long history of not embracing people who are gay. So just that one photo. First it was the two flags horizontal, the two flags portrait, and then I was like, well, can I get the pride flag with the shape of the windows that implies a church? And that's a much more subtle photo, so I like that. So a little bit of storytelling, not a lot though, not a lot, but I like, and I'll probably talk about this in another video, I like telling a subtle story sometimes is powerful. Let the viewer do some work. Don't bang them. Is that the word? Don't bang them over the head with it, but let them do some work. Yeah. Photography should be a mental game, not just a visual game. That's just a shapes game, a color game. but there should be something going from the photographer's mind to the viewer's mind. And not to make it a puzzle, but it's a message, and it doesn't have to be word for word, letter for letter. Let there be some interpretation. Hence art. Another thing that I like about photography is sharing. You take a photo, do you keep it to yourself? You can just throw it on that hard drive and never let anybody else see it, but it is a point of human connection where you have a perception about something in the world and you share it with someone. And so I think largely that is not practiced as much as it should be. I guess with phones, it's practiced, exponentially. You can take a picture, post it. Like my wife had a dinner with friends, and I was taking pictures, and gathered people out at. I have a secret hack. I'll do a video about that. Best way to get portraits in a pinch that are really, really good, really pop, that people just go, wow, you're such a good photographer. It's all down to one trick. That's a different video. Well, I was taking these photos on my phone, and I was putting them into some sort of iCloud album and then texting people the link. And so the idea is immediately I wanted to share it with them just so they could see themselves, they could relive the moment. It's recognition, validation that they were there. So with phones, that's easy to do, and quite often. Maybe not as much as it could be. Maybe we could share photos more often. It's interesting that phones do sort of isolate us, even as they enable us to connect and share. But digital photography on a traditional mirrorless or digital camera, DSLR, do we share as much as we could, as much as we should? I don't think so. But that is one thing I like about photography. I've always kind of theorized maybe somehow, someday, some way I'll carry a printer around and just print photos and give them to people. That's why I like the little Fuji Instax cameras. They allow you to print and let people take those memories to go with them. So that is another thing I like about sharing. I mean, that is another thing. Sharing is another thing I like about photography. All right, so I was standing, I was talking a second ago, and I saw this beautiful tree with tons of flowers, and there was a reason to stop. Is the tree had as many blossoms on it as you could get, and it's so beautiful. So I stopped, and I started hearing buzzing, and I saw these big bumblebees, and I was like, okay, the flowers look good with the color, but if I go black and white and I try to shoot up towards the sky, then I could possibly get a silhouette of the bumblebee. So no color needed, no color information needed. Silhouette of the bumblebee and against the sky, and you can see the silhouette of the flowers. You can figure out what's going on for the context. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then that was a little harder than I thought. I just couldn't get the shutter speed right. Bumblebees move so fast. Their wings are blurry. You're not going to capture it. They just look like a black blob. But then there's this guy over, kind of long hair and a beard, cap. He had a cigarette, and I started talking to him about the tree. And I was like, oh, what if I could do the same type of shot, put Korey in front of the sun and capture kind of the wispy hair and the smoke caught in the sun, like a backlit portrait. So I asked him if he would be down to try to do a portrait, and he said yeah. This is interesting. I'm going to go this way. Don't know what's down here. He said yeah, so we took a few pictures, exchanged numbers. I'm going to text it to him later. But it was a really cool experiment with light. It's something that you can't really do. I heard somebody talk about this when reviewing, I think it's the 360 action camera that she talked about. I'll put a link to her video. Talked about using it for still photography, and she talked about just the power of having manual exposure controls And so that is something I was able to do with Korey in these shots that I wasn't able to do with my phone. And probably you would be able to do it with a manual photo app, and there's AI, you can just generate the image. But to talk to Korey, talk about art for a second, that is beautiful, and that's something that I absolutely love about photography. Sharing, artistic control, or artistic expression. Sometimes mistakes are not control, but they're artistic expression, and coincidence. It's great. So yeah,